Oh boy, I need to make some. All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Real Talk Tuesday. This is what we do every Tuesday night here on Welcome to Andrews the podcast. Let me do some stuff here that I usually can do because I'm playing a video when we start. But as you can see, there's a winter advisory on the screen right there, and I'm going to start with that. Give me 1 second, y'all. But Mayor, how you doing, sir?
Oh man, hanging in there. A little exhausted right now, but has to be expected at times like this.
Hey, you got a whole $600 a month. We gotta, we got have it.
Well, Walmart
Uh,
has it now.
so check this out. All right, guys. Winter. This is from the town of Andrews. Okay. Please be advised that the Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church is the only warming shelter in Georgetown County. Their address is 1043 Duke Street, Georgetown, South Carolina 29440. They will be operating 24/7 throughout this weather event that we have, and I guess we'll speak a little bit as to how long this should be in the area. If you are aware of anyone who is housed, if you are aware of anyone who is unhoused in our area, please call the town's winter weather hotline, which is 843-461-6924 to arrange transportation to the warming center. Again, the only warming center is Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church. If you would like to make a financial contribution to Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church, warming center, there you can do that via Zelle, and it's through this email address, which is all lowercase, which is mobcofgt@yahoo.com. I'm going to post that so you guys can be able to go to Zelle and donate. They are also in need of coats and hats. If your church or organization is interested in becoming a warming shelter, please send a text to the town via the hotline, which is, again, 843-461-6924. Please leave an email address, a point of contact, telephone number. This information will be given to the State Emergency Management Division, who will provide steps on what to do next. Also, in the Andrews area, the Jerusalem Missionary Baptist Missionary Baptist Association has stated that they will open their doors tomorrow, January 22nd, starting at 11 a.m. The address is 613 Jones Avenue, Andrews, South Carolina. And I would say if you are moving back and forth to that place, please, y'all be careful because, it's going to be an icing situation. And I guess around 11, the sun should be up and kind of, but yeah, that's what we got there, sir.
Yes, sir. So it's that time, and I don't think we've had one of these in a while, but certainly want to recognize Mount Olive Baptist Church of Georgetown. I had an opportunity to go out there and speak with them. In fact, I'm just getting back from Georgetown, helping them round up some supplies since they're the only ones open right now. We'll have some of that available for Jerusalem Association tomorrow, and so we may be speaking with one of the members of that church tonight. But I'll tell you, it was a moving experience to see how the folks there in that church come together. And as we all know, the church has been our foundation forever. I know from my experience. And when things like this occurs, they're the first ones to step up and do something about it. And right now, Mount Olive is leading the pack on that, and we want to again give them as much recognition as possible. I was there. In fact, they already have folks coming in. What I learned is that they have a very large population of, and I don't particularly like using homeless, but displaced it's a lot of things that play into that, and I think we can talk a little bit about that tonight. But the bottom line is people without proper shelter, and and so those folks are coming in now. In fact, when I just left, and a few of the guys were going to bed already, and I was just imagining when was the last time that, and it was just cots, and and again, shout out to Mr. Everett, Carolina, because Everett, Carolina went and found 15 cots for this church to bed these folks tonight, and and they're obviously very grateful for that. That's a big deal. Um, and throughout the day, I've spoken with folks from my level all the way up to the state to see, why is it different? A winter storm versus a hurricane. With hurricane, I know you're going to have to evacuate people out of the most high risk places, like along the water and that kind of business. And Andrews happens to be that only shelter in Georgetown County that houses these folks, and that's typically at the elementary school. But there is no plan for winter storm or anything else other than those type natural disasters, and that is not, to me, it doesn't make sense, because a life at risk is a life risk regardless of what type of again, natural disaster that comes along. And I think that's the conversation has have to be had. And again, as you just read, and again, we want to recognize Mrs. Ramona McCullough and Mr. Marcus Pope for their efforts here in the town to go out and purchase food for I think about 15 people. And what I've just learned is that food has been now distributed out to some folks that that are in need. I don't have all the details of that, but they went out, and not only that, they got the Jerusalem Association to go back to their board of trustees and make the plea for a place for anyone that may be, again, don't have the proper shelter. Now, I've been on the ground. A lot of some of the other staff members have been on the ground looking for these people, and where they typically would be. We've got history of where they, that it was a camp a couple of years ago over by the on Cherry Street, where they were camped out, but obviously they couldn't stay there, and they were asked to move, and they never came back. And but bottom line, we never found anyone. They were out. And I think the Mr. Poley, everybody know Napoleon, and I'll listen I'll hear from some of our other guests. He was asked, and as it turns out, he has keys to his own place. Now that's one guy I thought that would be one that's in need of it, but he had his own place, and so.
So you guys spent a lot of time today on wild goose chases.
We were looking to see, because there was a lot of chatter on the on the social media about these, but no one could ever say who these people are, where they are. So we have to do. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm with you, because it's so what it sounds like is that people were just calling, assuming that people were out, you know what I mean, and I guess wanted to know what the town was doing. This ain't the first time. I'm about to pull up a video from the last time we had a weather event, and we talked about the same thing about cooling. Warming shelters. And what I see, the Jerusalem Center is stepping up. Where are these other churches? Andrews has 20 plus. How many churches do you have in Andrews?
I think the last count was 24, and it's 2.2 square mile town.
And I'm sure those people at these churches all have internet, all have TVs. This was not a surprise event. This is not like a wildfire. This is not like thing. I mean, hurricanes don't even surprise us anymore because of the technology that we have. My question would be to some of these churches, where we need you to be more proactive in these things. Okay. because from what I got is there was a lot of running around today, last minute, and people and all of those people who were asking the questions. What you should do instead of calling, asking, find somebody now that we have this, find those people that you see out there and make a way so we can get them to that warming shelter in Georgetown. Again, tomorrow it'll be opening up at the Jerusalem Center in Andrews. But and this is just a question, and it's not me bashing churches or bashing other organizations, but these are the organizations that really that's that support system, because Georgetown County, as far as the county, and I commend you guys as a town for getting this thing put together and getting out and collaborating and making it a way for these people to be able to to even have an opportunity to go to a warming shelter, because the county has no, they don't even acknowledge that this continue, and this is not the first time. What is the communication? Because I see you can pass the information on to the EOC. What is that? What is the county saying as far? What are you getting from the county?
Now they stood up and they've been bringing us all the latest updates on the weather, and that's been happening nowadays. So they're very, very.
I can get the weather from the internet, so no disrespect. You can get on. I mean, you know what I mean? They getting it right from the National Weather Service Association. No disrespect to the EOC, but this man's making $100,000+ a year. I mean, we could get more. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm trying to understand it before I criticize the process. But I did learn through, again, calling the various agencies, is that I call it even the National Guard. We have the National Guard Army right here, big facility, and that's what the National Guard troops are for disasters, and whether it's a named disaster or state of emergency, there's still troops can be mobilized to assist if necessary. The governor have not, ordered a state of emergency, so I understand that part. But excuse me, I think down at our level, regardless of that, we have to find ways to provide. And like you said, collaboration is the thing. I think it was told to me the county, provided some resources to Mount Olive, to help in that effort. And I would tell you, in all fairness too, it's a lot of them are concerned about liability. And so when you bring a group of folks together into a confined area, there's a lot of risk associated with that, and that has to be approved. And with all of the churches or any other organization, they have to take those things into consideration. I get that, but for me, where I came from in the service, we find a way to make that happen, because a life loss.
Because that's not a new thing. Again, right. I could pull up a video from I think 2 years ago where I was in town hall covering a situation, a freezing situation, and that was the question. That's when I learned from that pastor that it was a legal situation. So again, Representative Fry, this is something that you guys can work on your level, to where these churches can be covered so that they can be able to serve the communities. Because if we get into this legal thing, that's what it's going to be. They're going to side. I mean, they're going to do what's best for their congregation and be safe. You know what I mean?
So yeah. So I think and I think we have. I don't know if our guest is on. I'd like to hear from them, because you and I can talk about this for a while, which we should, and we will tonight, until we can help communicate where we are now. And the bottom line is that the small towns don't have the facilities. We just don't. If we had the facilities, for example, this building back here, the reason for that multi-purpose room and that building that stand up behind us is to be able to provide these kind of shelter for our folks. Because again, it's a handful. If we can find them, you can On a good day, you'll see people, kind of wandering around, hanging out at Exxon, that kind of business. But it doesn't. We don't know if they're, what their real status is until you have a conversation with them. And then, but that building, that multi-purpose room is for that purpose. But we can't do that because this thing has been in court the last 3 years. But beyond that, there's still resources. We have a brand new, or maybe 3 or 4 year, recreation department. We have the schools, which again, one is always available during the hurricanes and those kind of things. But we cannot be okay. We should not be laying our head down tonight in the comfort of our home, knowing that there's someone out there. So we beat the bush where we know or suspect that people will be. We didn't find them, and then through coordination with the Mount Olive team, we're prepared now. As that note said, if we find someone that needs shelter, we're gonna take them down to Mount Olive until tomorrow when the Jerusalem Association opened the doors at 9:00. So
and why are you home in the comfort of the warmth of your home? If you want to help, that's the Zelle information right there. MOBC of Georgetown, which is Mount Olive Baptist Church. MOBC. Excuse me. MOBCOFGT@yahoo.com. That's the Zelle information. If that doesn't work for you, please let us know that you are interested in donating, and we'll get whatever information you need to get so that you can be able to help out. Okay. And again, I'm sure as the Jerusalem Center come online, they're going to be, I'm assuming they're going to be needing some help with some resources too. So let's think about that as we move into tomorrow. But right now, I'm going to bring somebody up that you mentioned earlier. Good evening, Miss McCullough. How are you? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing well. I told you not to show my face.
Oh, there. I failed at that job. I'm sorry about that. But
well, listen. Basically, I just wanted to ask you, Jamal, to get the word out. This is not I want to be seen type thing. This is something that is need in the tongue. We in the area. We got to take care of our own. I guess that's the best way to put it. Now, we thankful for Mount Olive because they're going to help us get through tonight. But tomorrow and the next day, thanks God to Reverend Jason Coakley, who works with us today to try to get this thing going. He was ready to open the door today at 4:00. We were out there trying to find people to use it. We didn't want to open it tonight and then nobody use it. That's the hold up there. But tomorrow at 10:00, the Jerusalem Center will be open, and there will be a hot meal. But we're not just going to get food. We're going to see who's going to come before we go out and purchase food. We're not looking for any big donation. We need coats. We need hats. We need blankets. Please do not come with your vehicle loaded down with all of the stuff that you want to get, because we have no place to house this stuff. We don't have a storage way. We just have a little place
ready to eat meals, something that a person can use immediately.
Yes, and they will be able to take it with them when they leave.
Gotcha.
It's not going to be a gourmet meal, but it's going to be worth it. And we have to give shout to the county. I think they call them the country store that used to be Dutch's.
Yeah.
They have helped prepare some meals what we had to give out tonight. But we were thankful for them because they were willing to step in and help to help provide a meal. Prayerfully tomorrow we'll be get the same courtesy that we can go ahead and do that as well. None of us have $1 million. Most of us don't have $1,000 in our pocket or a bank. But your dollar, your $10 will help purchase a meal. Your $10 will purchase a place of just something, just any little thing. I don't want any money in my pocket. I don't handle nobody's money because I can hardly take care of my own. So please don't Zelle any money. If you want to cash app somebody, please send that through um, Mayor McClary,
Oh
or
no,
I'm not sure if
we'll figure
Marcus
that
is
out. We'll
I
figure
don't
that part out.
know if Marcus is willing, do it, but I don't want it in my account or even tell it.
Yes,
But
ma'am. We'll figure that out.
what we
Because I
really
think,
do is that we need
go ahead.
we need volunteers. We need some people to be there to assist. I'm not sure at this point how we going, what we need as far as someone monitoring the situation. I don't know if Reverend Coakley is going to have one of his members to do that, or if that's something that we have to do. But we do need somebody to please be willing to, if not the whole night, a couple hours a night, and then we can kind of rotate to make sure that everything is taken care of. We don't want any
We need some
substance in
men
there.
to step up. We need some men in the community. We
Men
need
in it,
some men
right.
to step up. Okay. And let's just be
Exactly.
real with the situation, because we need men on deck just in case anything, you know what I mean? We don't know. So
Right. And
I'm gonna
and
put that
and
out there.
just to be clear, that we don't have anything against pets, but right now we're not equipped to take care of pets. Maybe in the future, but right now we're just looking out for the people. So if you have to have a pet, please find somebody who can take care of them until they get back, whatever they need to go.
I
All right.
completely forgot about the pets. Because you would see typically that someone is again doesn't have adequate shelter. They typically will have a pet. I don't know why that is, but they will have a pet. So we need
Yeah,
to think.
and I think one of the things that because we were you know spinning our heads so much today just trying to get to that point. But what it should have been said is anyone who is in need of shelter, because you have some people who are not on the street but also need help because they don't have heat in their homes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Great.
those people are welcome as well, because you know a nice warm place is a nice warm place. A hot meal is a hot meal. I don't care who you are. If I'm in need, hey, I hope somebody would do that for me as well. So, and I just wanted to share that out to you, and I thank you, Jamal, for
Listen,
giving
just
this opportunity.
I'll be online in the morning. I will go live in the morning because I'm not gonna be able to move. And
Okay.
and so, whatever information you send it through, and we'll work it. On to what you said about the heat, I wanted to say this is that, listen, guys, if tonight you're going to be trying to keep your house warm, pay attention to those heaters. Do not
Yes.
overload a circuit. And what that means is, if you're in one room and you got the heater in there, you want to have as little things as possible plugged up around that heater, because those heaters pull they pull a lot of juice, a lot of juice. So be careful with the space heaters tonight as you go through the night. And again, consider just going to the warming station if that's a struggle for you, heating your house during this time, doing this extreme weather like this. Hey man, pack up, go out there, get you a hot meal, get you a nice conversation, kick it. We'll remember some days back in Rosemary when you used to be in gym and and all that
Mhm.
stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
it's a very
but
nice facility. So we're going to take care of it because they didn't have to, but they opened up their hot. We put the call out there, and they heard the call, and they respond. So we are thankful for um, Reverend Coakley to do and his board for doing what they're doing. So.
And one of the good things of this facility, they have the bleachers are still there, so it's plenty of place for
Hmm.
people to sit.
and kind of have their space.
Yeah, space is pretty big, so
Reverend, I mean, no, Reverend. Well, I'll call you Reverend. Mayor McClary.
yes, ma'am.
Um, would you see if you can contact, I guess, the Armory here in Andrews, and if they have any cots that we can borrow? I think we probably about 15. Well, no, I said about 15. We'll start there.
Yeah, I spoke with them today, just on the shelter part, and I'm gonna make an assumption here, but I'll call again tomorrow. Is that the requests have to come up through the county's emergency management division for those shelter, but perhaps we don't have to. I'll reach out to Sergeant First Class Chris.
Yeah,
and,
yeah, that's one of the things that we learned today is that to get things rolling quickly is go through the Red Cross, and
yeah,
so we're ready. We'll know what to do. It's just a whim, and I believe that God's in the midst of this because things would not have come in place without Him intervening. So let's give honor where honors due.
absolutely.
I didn't want my name. I don't want to anybody to see that it's something that I did because it's not me. There's a team of us out there, and we're working as not as one person, not a two person, but we all the four people. I'll put that up, but there's 4 people thus far, and we're hoping tomorrow there will be another 4, another 4, and another 4 until we get this thing together.
But what would be helpful, and we said it earlier, is that if you know where these folks are, give us a location so we can go there and check on them. Even if they don't want to come into a shelter, we could do wellness
Go get them a food. Yeah.
Food or whatever case. I've got some hand warmers that kind of, that's just for the hands, but they can use that wherever, something to give them some relief from the
blankets or whatever.
It's like Korea cold out there. I haven't been this cold, man, since I left Korea. But it is very dangerous out there. So again, thank you so much.
And don't forget, now, even though we're going through this storm, but summer is coming as well, and the heat is going to be another issue. So let's get prepared. Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Let's get prepared. So we'll do. But I'm going to bed because I have a.
Thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow.
But again, thank you all so much. Get the word out. Figure out anybody who's willing to help. We appreciate it, and we'll do whatever we can.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Y'all have a blessed night.
There's no one's back there unless they came in tonight. I'll check when I leave the office. Hey, so here's Miss Minister Jackie Williams. That's with us, joining us tonight. Now, Jackie's not a stranger to Andrews. Yeah, she was. I think it's 3 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago, she was our guest speaker for the MLK march, and very powerful messages. So she's a friend of Andrews, and we appreciate that. And so tonight, when I made my way down there, I didn't know she was a part of this church down at Mount Olive down in Georgetown. And so when I walk in to speak to the gentleman who had spoken with on the phone, there's my friend, Miss Jackie, and they're doing great things. Again, I'll let her tell us what's going on there. And but I want to let you know, you didn't offer me any food when I was there, Miss Jackie. I didn't get any food. She's frozen. That's probably the look you give me, huh?
She must have knew you was coming with that. Okay, all right.
As soon as she comes back on, but
no doubt. But guys, listen. Scrolling across the bottom of the screen is the Zelle information. If you want to make a financial contribution to Mount Olive Baptist Church, again, this is the only warming center in Georgetown County. And again, what we're talking about tonight is community activism, being proactive. Okay, we know these storms are coming. We know these situations are coming. Is being on the ground and being ready and being prepared. You know what I mean? Because what I'm hearing now is we got to figure out a way to get some cots and have them stashed somewhere, for future. Because it seems like these weather events are becoming more and more, more and more dramatic. Again, also go to download the Town of Andrews' new app. It's the you can download it, you know what I mean, put it in one of your part of your little app on your phone, and you can get all the information that you need. You don't have to go on social media to find it. You can find this information directly. And let me get one more spot in here before so I can get this check for this. Shout out to Donnie's Grill over there in Donnie's Catering, actually. Again, all plates $15. This is going to be When Y'all Seafood, 713 South Island Road. You see it right there: red rice, sausage, whiting, fish, blue crabs, fish, tater tots, coleslaw, the whole work. Accepting pre-orders, 843-436-0698 or 843-344-8010. That's Donnie's Catering. This is definitely somebody, if you're having an event and you're feeding a large group of people, you definitely want to deal with Donnie. Look how I just did that so fast. Like, that was just a cold read, man. Definitely dealing with Donnie. Donnie, send that check, buddy. But again, Mayor, go ahead back with the introduction. Minister, how are you? Welcome. Go ahead, Mayor.
Yeah, just again, you talk about community activists and being involved and trying to make a difference, regardless of whatever your status is. This young lady is always at the forefront, and so I should not have been surprised when I walked in at night and saw you at the church, and she's in there just cooking it up. Her granddaughter is there. I think that was your granddaughter.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so they're doing it up, and then, like I said, it was a couple young men when I came back with the hand warmers outside, and they were just so excited, to have this place to come and get out of this weather. So you could tell us a little bit about your operation and how can we all come together to help with this ministry you all have going on.
Absolutely. First, I want to say good evening and thank you so much, Mayor, for coming by and checking on us. We certainly appreciate it. And we appreciate your support and we appreciate your donations. This is our second year actually doing the warming shelter, and we also did the cooling shelter this past year. But this was just born out of a necessity when citizens started asking the question. The last very cold freeze we had, this was definitely worse. We didn't have snow the last time. Was there a shelter site? And got no response. And so our mission here is not to do church work, but to do the work of the church. And it is definitely a difference. This is not church work. Church work is keeping the books and printing the worship guide and showing up for Bible study and making sure that the building is straight. The work of the church is the work that Christ came for. And that is, if you see somebody that is hungry, you feed them. You clothe them if they're naked. You give them water if they're thirsty. And in 2025, if you are looking at a storm like this, you provide shelter for them. It is just a handful of us. It's a handful of us, but God has been so good until we have so many volunteers. Joan DeRay from the NAACP has engaged Club, I think 142 over in Pawleys Island. We have people from Rose Hill community. A group of women got together and brought us a ton of food. And we have just been getting food and donations because we are the only ones that is officially open. We actually started preparing for this about 2 weeks ago. We had a cold snap. If you all recall, we had a cold snap a couple of weeks ago. We had the building open. We weren't in a position to do overnight, but we did have the building open. We were told when we had the building open that we needed to prepare because there was another storm coming. And even though the weather went back, it was nice, it was really good. We took heed of that warning that there was another storm on the way. And so we started preparing then. I have to shout out Deacon Horace Collington, who last year, myself and Minister Britton took, we had the lead on the program on this last year. But now that I am here at Mount Olive and assuming more of the ministerial responsibilities, it was like we got to pass it off to somebody else to make sure that we have all of our I's dotted and T's crossed. I heard the young lady talking about cots. Our cots came from the Red Cross. They donated 15 cots to us. I would recommend that they reach out to them as far as cots are concerned. The Jerusalem Association, I'm sure, is a 501c3. Piggly Wiggly has already said if you are 501c3, they will donate. If you're not, they will give you, yeah, you can't smoke in here. They'll give you a discount on anything that you buy. But if you're a 501c3, they will donate. The other place that I know that does really good donations is Walmart. So I would check there for them as far as donations are concerned. But we have had donations come as far as Jamestown.
Mm-hmm.
People have driven from Jamestown into Georgetown, Hemingway into Georgetown to drop off items that we need.
Because let me tell you why. Because you guys are the only. I called the state, and I was, again, I was speaking with the National Guard at the National Guard headquarters in Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
And as we went through the process, the young lady or the young major was explaining to me how this process works. She also said, but Mount Olive out of Georgetown is the only ones. You guys are, again, your work is not going unnoticed, and I know you all are doing it from the heart. But that's why these people are coming, and it's unfortunate. I don't know how it's just one facility. So before we in this broadcast, I'd like to know how do you guys do it? Because I've heard liability. I've heard well, that's really what it is nothing else, because that's been explained to me. The other thing I want to clarify is that when you say Piggly Wiggly of Georgetown, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
And I think that's a standing thing for Piggly Wiggly. If you have that 501c in place, and that speaks to what we at Andrews need to get together and start, because we don't have enough outside of the churches. We don't have enough 501c because what she's speaking on is that there are organizations that want to help. We just got to be prepared to receive the help to be able to help other people.
Yeah, I just wanted people to know, because our Piggly Wiggly has been very generous in supporting other organizations and the town. And I want to make sure that sometimes franchise, I don't know how that works. I didn't want people to leave here with.
Gotcha, no doubt.
Thinking that.
And let me ask you this,
now, okay,
Miss Brenda, the shelter opens tomorrow at I have 11 a.m. Miss McCullough said 10 a.m. So between 10 and 11 o'clock, the shelter will be open down in Andrews. But go ahead. Go ahead, Miss Jackie.
Here's the thing. I think it comes a point in time where we have to really ask ourselves, what is the greater liability? Is the greater liability not opening your doors and risking people dying in the streets?
What would Jesus do?
And just what would Jesus do? Just in the city of Georgetown, just between the church associations here AME and denominations, AME, Baptist, non-denominational, what have you. It's well over 100 churches just in this area. I think we have to really decide what is the work of the church and not be afraid to step out on faith and do the work of the church. If we truly say that we believe what Christ came for, if we truly say that we step out on faith and we believe that if we do his work, he will handle our business, then we have to be about doing his business. To have, and I'm going to just say it because I ain't got nothing to
Hey,
lose.
Miss
I'm going
Jackie,
to say
Miss
it.
Jackie, you in the right place to say it. Rock
To,
out.
I'm going to say, to,
My guy.
to have, to have as many churches as we have, there is absolutely no excuse why we are the only church that's open. We've had members of other churches come through here all day. And the number one question that they have been saying to themselves out loud is, why is our church not doing this? We got way more space. We got way more members. Why is our church not doing this? Well, you have to be conscious of people. You got to be conscious of people outside of just your congregation. And I'm not knocking, I'm not going to knock. It's not my place to judge whether you have a heart for this or that. But the record speaks for itself.
There's a need.
It is problematic. It is problematic that we have this many churches and we are the only ones open. And we understand liability. We understand that. We did this last year. We understand liability. We, Minister Britton and I last year only left this church when somebody came to relieve us for about an hour. We left, we went home to our different homes, we showered, we put on, and we came right back. When we got past that storm, we were so tired. But I would rather be tired than lay in the comfort of my own home, knowing that I'm okay. We found people huddled up under trees last year. Under trees, literally under trees.
I recall you telling me today that there is a sizable population that is generally camps out
In the woods.
in the woods. Was
Yeah.
that I don't know what store or business.
Between Belks and Walmart.
Mm.
And we are trying to reach them. We are trying to reach them. We have reached out to the mayor's office here in Georgetown. We have not gotten one response. And none of that is acceptable. None of that is acceptable. Even if you couldn't do nothing, even if you wasn't going to do anything, the fact that we couldn't even get a phone call back is very problematic. And so at Mount Olive, our thing is we got to address the needs of the people. That's it. That is what we are supposed to do. Anything past that, we missing the mark. We are missing the mark. And we just couldn't do it. We just could not do it. We originally was going to do just a couple of hours or what have you. And I called Minister Britton. I said, we can't do this. We just cannot. There's no way as a minister who believes in the gospel and believe the message that Jesus Christ taught. There's no way I could lay in my bed at night with a clear conscience, knowing how many people we got upstairs that needed to be here to shelter in. We are full.
All right. Yeah, I saw them. I saw them coming in, and I'll tell you what. Um,
Yes,
and I speaking. So that was Minister Britton I spoke with tonight. Was that the gentleman
I think when you came back,
when I
there's
came back?
another one down on the side. Yeah.
Oh,
No, it was just when you came, it was Deacon Horace and Deacon Brave. There's another restroom right here if you need a restroom. I said there's another restroom right here if you needed a restroom. Where is that? Right down here. Straight down.
On the
Okay.
ground doing the work,
And
Minister
yeah.
Jackie. I just want to. I'm sorry, and I'm gonna let you go again, but I want to say thank you for coming on, okay? Because me and the mayor saying this, it carries a whole nother weight when somebody of the cloth is saying this. Because we could say this, you know what I mean, but you inside the fight right now. You on the ground. You know what I mean. Doing an interview,
Yeah,
directing traffic. Hey,
that's it. That look here. That's it. Just fix some food and a fresh pot of coffee. Because one of the things that we do not do, we're doing the same thing we did last year. We start cooking for breakfast in the morning. Um, we have food that has already been prepared. We serve that for lunch. We have stuff that people brought that we have in the refrigerator. As long as you're in this building, it could be 3 o'clock in the morning. If you wake up and say, "Can I get something to eat?" We will fix you something to eat.
and
It
guys,
ain't
listen.
no,
I'm
yeah.
sorry, Miss Jackie, but I gotta shout y'all out. I got because what she's talking about takes resources, okay? And if you want to contribute, there is the Zelle information. I'm gonna scroll it across the bottom of the screen. We got Miss Jackie, Minister Jackie here right now. Again, if you don't have Zelle, you want to do Cash App or some other means, get in the comment section, get in my inbox, let us know. We can get you directed into where you need to be.
Okay.
But here's
Right.
the Zelle information right here on the screen. MOBC of GT at yahoo.com.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
so then
And
go ahead.
you
I'm sorry.
and
Go ahead.
you know you will know that you have the right Mount Olive. Our finance director, Sister Linda Brown, name will come up under that. And if you see Linda Brown, that is the right Zelle because there's more than one Mount Olive.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
So again,
Yeah.
so whomever the minister, I think you said he's as you all, I'm assuming, still in search of your permanent pastor. He's the shepherd of the church,
Mm-hmm.
and he expressed a lot of what you just talked about. Yeah, he expressed his heartfelt concern about the divisions in with the churches are not working
Mm-hmm.
together, and
Mm-hmm.
he's encouraging everyone that's available. I'm gonna make my way down there on the February the 8th for this
Right.
breakfast, and I know and you can give us a little
Prayer
bit more
breakfast.
insight on that breakfast, and so we can get as many people down there again just to break down some of these barriers that we have
Mm-hmm.
between cities, counties, so we can
Mm-hmm.
help.
Mm-hmm. February the 8th, 10 o'clock, we will have our prayer breakfast here at Mount Olive, which is 1043 Duke Street in Georgetown. We are encouraging as many ministers as possible, anybody in the clergy, as well as city officials and, anyone else that would like to come to please come. Um, we are working towards, um, beyond the prayer breakfast, every volunteer that is working with the shelter, every volunteer, every person that has donated anything in any capacity, we are creating a database so that we can, after we get past this, we can bring everyone back together and sit down and have a community, so-called, for lack of a community-wide meeting to discuss how we can form some type of relationship where we can all stay in the loop, exchange resources, information, data, so that almost like creating a readiness scenario, so that if something happens, we are not trying to pull things together at, a week before or at the last minute, but you pull the trigger, you send out the mass email, everybody knows what to do and everybody knows how to engage. And so these are some of the things that we will be, making light of at the prayer breakfast. But beyond prayer, because prayer changes things, but beyond just praying, we have got to realize that we are the change agents. We could pray all day long, but we are the hands, the feet, the mouth, the heart of God. That's what we are. And He works through people. So coming together in prayer is definitely a big part of our objective, but not without us having actionable steps where we can have some type of progress and move forward. And having worship services, um, having worship services and inviting other churches to your church for worship services and revivals, all of that is wonderful. All of that's good. But that is not what God was talking about. That is not the message that Jesus Christ came to preach on behalf of His Father. Because when He walked this earth, He was the church without walls.
Mm.
And what He talked about is moving beyond the four walls. So we have to, yes, sir, right there. Mm-hmm. You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. And we have some we got some new coats upstairs. We'll give you one. We got some brand new coats upstairs. Somebody donate, we will give you one. I'll give you one as soon as I get back upstairs. Okay. Okay.
Listen, we gotta have the
Okay.
Jackie on, Mo. We gotta have Miss Jackie on all the time. You just do your job and listen, I want to shout out to Mr. William
Upstairs.
Gaskins and the Rebecca C.
Yeah.
Parsons Foundation. They do a lot to help organizations like Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church, through donations to help them help folks. Okay.
As a caveat to that, before Ms. Jackie, in fact, Mr. William Gaskin reached out to me today asking about how can they help, and then and I explained the situation to him, and again, he's listening tonight. They do wonderful work here in the town across this county, I think throughout all over Rebecca C. Foundation. And
one of the things,
yes, ma'am, go ahead.
There are two things right now that we can definitely use. Socks. We had a bag of socks we have given out. We've depleted our stock that we had. So socks, thick socks, we can definitely use. The other thing that we can use is if anyone could do some thermals, like thermal shirts, that we could give them to wear under their clothes. We had a generous donation of coats. So we've been distributing coats or what have you. But right now, socks, toboggans, we could definitely use some more gloves. And the reason I'm saying we could use this is because we have had people coming in and out all day. And some folks had a place to stay, but they didn't have like coats or resources. So what we have been doing is if you come in, you leave with a bag of resources to take with you. If you need a coat, you get a coat. If you need gloves, you get the gloves. Whatever it is you need, if we have it here, you take it with you. When people leave, if they eat here and they leave, when they leave, we pack them a bag of food for them to take with them. Yeah. Tomorrow we will have a we will have another team headed by Renee Ford from Pawleys Island, who will actually be working with our senior community. So any individuals that are seniors that may not have enough, we will be preparing food, boxing it up, and she, along with her folks, will be going out to deliver. We have got to make sure our people, and when I say our people, I mean
We got the
all people.
socks. We got the socks, Miss Jackie. We got the socks.
All right. Good, Miss
Awesome,
Brenda.
awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. We just got to make sure people are okay. We
Yeah.
got to make, when I say our, I'm talking about the people in our community. We have got to make sure that our folks are okay. And if I took you guys upstairs, we got everybody up there.
I seen
We
them.
got we got black folks, we got white folks, we got everybody up there. We got everybody. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. What the only thing that matters is if you need us, just walk through the door. And like I tell everybody, you bring them in here, we got it. We will take care of them, and we will definitely make sure that they are okay.
And let me say this too, because I want to ask these questions because that could be some of the challenges others may have is security. Security, and again, this is a confined place. You know, may have cold like I'm battling one right now. So how do you all how do you feel about safety and again, both physical and passing of any cold of that nature?
Look here. You know we Gullah, so you do know we got life everlasting tea here, right? All right.
That's
You
what
got
I'm
some.
talking about. No fear. Hey, and it's not that you're not being precautious, but I mean, God got you. I listen. I am again to
We
the to the
got
to the to the churches in the area. You know what I mean? This is a good challenge. This is not calling you out. This is you take some inventory, like you said, like the minister said. She said that people coming in from different churches asking the question, verbalizing, why aren't we doing this?
right. Because there are so many churches that are way bigger than ours, um, that that are way bigger than ours. Um, that that could accommodate more people. But we're making do with the resources that we have. Now, we got disinfectant wipes, we got a ton of, we got Lysol, we have masks. So if anybody is volunteering and they feel uncomfortable, they can mask up if they so choose.
Man,
We were in here, yeah, we were in here last year, we were in here, we're in here this year. We haven't, we hadn't had our mask on or what have you, but we've been using, wiping everything down,
Mhm.
sanitizing as we go, and and making sure that, we got life everlasting tea here, just making sure that we can stay healthy to see this through. Last year, after we closed out, and we finally made it back to our homes, Minister Britton and I both, we had a little sniffle, but I didn't attribute it to us catching something from somebody else, but we were just tired. We were just tired and worn out. And so, you know, we had, but it wasn't nothing major. We bounced right back.
I think
It wasn't anything major. The thing about it is though, here's the thing though, you could go to church every Sunday and sit by somebody with COVID that don't even know that they have COVID. You understand what I'm saying? You could sit by somebody that got the flu, that got whatever, and don't know
That's
that.
right.
You know, I think what happens sometimes, and I'm just being transparent, I think sometimes what happens is we put barriers in the way to
Absolutely.
Mhm.
give us a reason not to do.
And that's and I would love to talk to you guys about live streaming the prayer breakfast on the 8th, because I think a big part of that,
Okay.
and I'm kind of suggesting, is that you guys are going to have to lay out and teach and tell people, okay, here's what we did to make this happen. Here's how we made it happen. Again, instead of, people thinking about the barriers. No. Here's how we got past those barriers.
That's
And
how you make it happen. Yeah.
It's about
so
We had a young lady. Yeah,
acceptable
we
risk.
had a young lady reached out to us today, that was saying, we're interested in starting something like this in our community. And, and I did. I took time, was on the phone with her. I told her, I said, if you want to come and see how we set up, any resources that we have, we are more than willing to share, because we need this throughout our communities.
That's right.
We need this throughout our communities. And my thing is this: if we can open up a shelter for hurricane, we can open up a shelter for a warming center.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. If we can have a shelter in place for people for hurricane season, we can do this. But you have got to want to do it.
And it's critical that we have these things in our community, because we turn on the news and we see
Absolutely.
fires in California, we see, different other natural disasters, and people are kind of at the mercy of when the government comes in. And whereas, these grassroots organizations, these community-based organizations are where it's at. That's our lifeblood. And I think, again, that prayer breakfast definitely is going to be that springboard to, because what you're saying is all like forward thinking, you know what I mean? Putting together
Mhm.
a database, and stop with the victim mentality, and let's approach these things like, like warriors. I definitely commend that.
And I would like to say this, because again, we have I think like 24 churches in the town of Andrews, and again, in all fairness, many of them are doing some great things. I mean, there's a soup kitchen. There's one that's addressing the drug and alcohol. One,
Awesome.
those kind of all those things, turkey giveaway, those things. When it, but we can't rest on that, because this situation right here is basically life or death. I mean, it's life or death. So I think that what we're hearing from you, and even for others, that's in my position, we got to look beyond that, and be able to do a risk assessment, and then find out how to mitigate some of that risk, and then go ahead and
Right.
do about the business of taking care of people during time like this. And
Right.
so, however we can collaborate, join our resources, it's going to make a difference. And so I want to say that, because it's not like everyone is just sitting still, but when the conditions are well and you're doing certain things, that's one thing. But when it's tough like this,
Has it.
you said, and I know it's written in the good book, a lot of prayer without work is dead.
You hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head. See, that's the difference. That's the difference. To do ministry work when it's convenient and comfortable for you is one thing. But to do it when it takes you out of your own element, out of your comfort zone, and puts you in an uncomfortable place is something totally different. It's just like the word of God says. He doesn't really, Jesus said in his word, he doesn't really deal with us from the perspective of how we treat our friends, because by our natural nature, if I call you friend, I'm gonna treat you good, right?
Yeah.
But what he challenges us on is, how do we treat the ones that despitefully uses us? How do we treat the ones that, that backbite against us? How the true testament to who you are is how you treat your enemy. And so the true testament of our work is, if we got to check ourselves, because if everything that we are doing from a place of comfort, we got to ask ourselves. We got to
And I
step
get
outside of our comfort zone. We got to
Exactly.
step outside of our this is not comfortable.
And
I'm
even
telling you
for
right now.
and either exactly, I know I can hear it, and seeing it, but
This
even
is
for
this
us
is not comfortable.
as municipalities and elected officials, and I'm talking to myself right now. If things that we can do, if we come together and you get those little things that we can spend a few dollars here and there to stockpile some blankets or those
I'm
kind
not
of things,
sure, but
buy
it's
some
nobody
here
in
and
here.
there, those things that will make a difference. We can do better ourselves. So I'm speaking to the entire community. And again, shout out to Principal Mahone from Andrews High School. She called me, and I missed a call, but she was offering up that auxiliary gym for it. And I wish and I didn't know that. And I was out running around looking for folks. But that is where that is where we make our money, when we take care of our people, when we take acceptable risk. And so again, I don't want to um, disregard the work that is going on in the churches throughout the year, because it's all fantastic, it all matters. But
Yeah.
when the tough gets going, we're going to have to get in there and do better. And that's all of us: the government, the school, the churches, the individuals, whoever it is out there. We just have to do better. That's all of us. And McClary's putting his name out there just as much as anything else. So it's a team effort. So I've got some wonderful pastors here, and I know they're working hard there, but we're just asking that we, take it a step further. The town. So that'll have to be approved by the council, but we got to take it a step further and plan for these type of things. So it's all of us.
Exactly. And she, Miss Brenda was asking, no, we could use some socks for kids as well. We have no idea what we are going to, how many people we are actually going to get in. We are actually working with law enforcement here to transport anyone that is in need here, as well as from the Pawleys Island area. So yeah, so we can definitely use for all age groups or what have you. I need to jump off. I need to
I,
jump off. They
I
blowing up
understand.
my phone. But
It's all
thank you
good.
all
It's all
so
It's
good.
going
much.
to get real
Thank
busy
you
now.
all so much for
We
having. Yeah.
we'll check
Thank
back
y'all
out.
so much for having me on.
Absolutely. We'll check back with you tomorrow. So
Okay.
yeah. But thank you very much,
Okay.
and you have a good night.
Thank you so
Thank you, friend.
much, and also please let the team from the Jerusalem Association know that if they are in need of any resources in terms of where we went, all they have to do is, Mayor, you can give them my number. They just need, they can reach out, and we are more than happy. Um, we are more than happy to share any information and resources that we have.
That's right. That's right. Well, God bless you,
Yeah.
and for the work you're doing,
All
and has
right.
been throughout. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Okay.
All right, guys, and there it is right there, the information how you can help out the Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church of Georgetown. There's their Zelle information. Here's the address if you want to pull up on them. That's the address right there, 1043 Duke Street, Georgetown, South Carolina. Again, if you are going to travel back and forth tomorrow, taking resources to them, be careful, be careful, be careful. What
Yeah,
do
the
you think
roads are
about
bad.
that? What do you think about that, sir?
Hey, yeah, the roads are bad coming back in. And right now, Andrews is covered. It's beautiful to the sight, but it's dangerous to maneuver in, and traffic and that stuff, and to include foot traffic. So be careful. And there's that. There's an information out there on the town's website that tell you how to get in touch with us for any kind of emergency. But always 911 is your first step. 911, and the dispatch will send officers out, and they manage that. So 911 for anything that's needed. Again, a big shout out to Mr. William Gaskin and the Rebecca C. Parsons Foundation for just stepping up and offering. I don't know. That is huge, because food is good. Is one thing, that's going to, that's going to perish. It won't be any good after a while, but they're going to need some additional resources. So to include, again, once we get with the Jerusalem Association, we'll see whether they have a Cash App or a Zelle and see what monetary assistance they may need. But this is the time to come together. And so we just reaching out and to everybody that can support. Soup kitchens are great. Again, Church of God, I think, still do the soup kitchen, and they've been doing that throughout. I'm not sure what their schedule is now, but again, Pastor Lammer and his team down there, those guys are always on point. And so let's come together. That's where we are. And again, shout out to Ramona and Marcus Pope for going out and getting these meals, and to the Country Corner, because those are the same folks who supported us doing. Oh man, that was back in the day.
that was the last ice storm right there.
Really?
Yeah.
Pressure, and of course we know a lot of this is due to the extreme weather conditions. We've been in
before.
Yes, we have, huh?
Hey,
oh man,
coming over at this thing, man. But yeah, I man, salute to that church again. Bam, there we go, right there. Non-emergency number for Central Dispatch. Okay, if you're having these problems again, man, take some time and make sure you don't have a bunch of things plugged in with that heater, because you're going to be wanting to run that heater all night tonight. All right, so take the load off of that heater. Those things are, those are the source of a lot of home fires. So let's keep that in mind. And again, tomorrow in Andrews, warming center will be open. The Jerusalem Center, the Jerusalem Association, shout out to those folks. But I wanted to say this, that I'm not bashing pastors.
Oh, no,
And so, my job is to bring awareness, and that's what I'm doing. Use this platform. Yeah. That's the problem. A lot of you just won't reach out and use the platform.
That's right.
Okay. Use the platform. It's an effective platform. Use the platform, because again, what other platform is going to give us the opportunity to talk like this and get this information out amongst each other?
That's right.
Okay. So let's use the platform. Again, non-emergency dispatcher number 843-527-6763. And that number, if you are in Andrews and tomorrow you want to take them down to the Jerusalem Center. Okay, that's what you want to do tomorrow. Okay.
Again, if they need a ride, we can shuttle them down. We just have to know. You got to help us out and let us know exactly where they are, and if there's any special needs, is important to know that's going on with said individuals. Now, I will say this too, and I meant to ask Miss Jackie. I haven't, it was all males. So one of the things too have to be considered: how do you separate the population again? And then facilities to accommodate, a co-ed type facility. All those things have to be considered.
If somebody listening owns a security company, and this would be a good time for you to step in and offer your services, volunteer your services right now, because that's the issue is security. And that's why I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, we need the men of the church to step up and be there. You be out there, because again, let's keep it real. Things can go haywire real fast. And so, but that phone number
go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
That phone number in Andrews to call is 843-461-6924 to arrange transportation to the warming center. Again, that's 843-461-6924. Go ahead.
And if we know of any elderly person that's living alone or in need, and don't have access to, to this kind of social media or anything, so let's just share that with us as well, so we can do a wellness check on them. I just talked to my auntie, a little while ago on New Year, and she just went out and bought her, kerosene heater. I'm like, man, I I don't know about these kerosene heaters, but she's like, because the power will go out.
Yes, sir.
So we got to check on. We got to check on
the clutch, baby.
That's old school right there. But she's
That's
like,
right.
she don't want electric. She want that kerosene heater.
Oh,
so
reliable. I mean, you might
sure
smell it. You might smell a little funny, but guess what?
The ventilation. We got to make sure.
Better put that pot on the top with that water.
That's how I minimize it.
There it is.
There
it
so
is, man.
Definitely for our elderly folks, because we have a pretty sizable aging population here in the town, and we just need to check on them. So call that number again, 843-527-6763 for any of those kind of things. And there's no question that that is a dumb question. Let's talk about it, and we'll get the assistance that these folks need. Okay.
No doubt. Councilman Cooper. All right. I know you just get there, but need to hear from you, brother. Okay.
And I want to confirm, I know she said Red Cross, but again, former councilman Everett Carolina, she told me when I was there that he was, again, the force behind getting those cots. And I think
no doubt. What up, Everett?
And he's not sitting in city, still working. That's huge. So I'm sure they appreciate that down there. But it's a team effort.
No doubt. So they had the inauguration, man. Real fast before we get out here, let's talk a little bit about that real fast. They had the presidential inauguration down there in DC. Whoa, my bad.
Oh wow!
Not that inauguration, my bad. I mean the presidential inauguration, man.
Yeah.
Went down. You know what I mean? I happened to catch a bit of it. Of course, historically, I try to catch as many of these because these are special things. This is a very, very, very delicate time in the history of this nation, of our country. You feel what I'm saying? And being able to witness history, they've only done that 60 times since America has been in existence.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you happen to catch some of Dave Chappelle's monologue on Saturday Night Live. If you didn't, you should check it out.
I saw him on one of the social media, and I think it was a powerful message
Yeah. The message of, listen, rather, and he was talking directly to Donald Trump. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's dependent on you, whether they voted for it, whether they supported you or they didn't support you. We're dependent on you.
That's where we are. We're beyond the election.
Yeah.
And so we got to figure, it's all got to come together. And unfortunately, a lot of that's going on at that level is not necessarily trickled, but it's falling on the small towns and cities. And we have to, let's not get involved in that. And again, because some of that is probably the reason why we're not coming together to work in situations like this.
Absolutely. So it's like the minister was saying, that cold is biting everybody in there. It's white, black, everybody, old, Jew, Protestant, Gentile.
All right, Rev.
hey, she got me. Listen, man, again, shout out to Mount Olive Baptist Church, man. This can't be stated enough what they're doing, and the risk involved,
mm-hmm.
right? Not throwing caution to the wind, but saying, all right, look, here's what it is, and here's what we're gonna do. You feel what I'm saying? We're gonna do the Lord's work. That's just pretty much what it is. And so, you know what I mean?
Regardless of what you look like, but your financial status is coal, the need is the need, and we need to help meet that need. That's the bottom line. It's that simple. Again, we'll look internally in terms of our local government and see how we can better prepare, because we put a lot of our resources in the infrastructure, which is what we have to do. But setting aside something now, because whether you believe in climate change or not, there's a lot of things that are different about our weather.
You don't have to believe in climate change,
right,
to know that there's going to be change in the climate. I mean, it's just, it's, you know what I mean?
Right. It's changing. And whatever it's called, and a lot of it is, it's unpredictable. It's popping up. So we have to be
ready,
better prepared for the people. We focus we focus on the system, the water and sewer system, let's say, to make sure your service is there as best we can. But we're going to have to put a little bit more thought into how we better prepare for to assist the people through this time. Prayerfully, this is not going to be an extended period, but we don't know. Again, a lot of things are unpredictable, and deal with that as well as some of the other things that we have going on. That's just what we have to do.
No doubt. Also, just two more things I want to touch on briefly.
Yes,
one, celebrated Martin Luther King Jr. Day the other day. You care to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, sir. Man, what a powerful program, and I want to give again a shout out to Reverend Dane Harris, who is a native evangelist, and his lovely bride Sharon Harris, who has an incredible voice. He was our keynote speaker, and Sharon, provided us with a couple songs, and it just and to the people for coming out. I know it gets a little chilly, but the weather wasn't that bad. Now I underdressed. That's probably why I'm congested right now. But it was one of the most powerful messages I've heard, because he talked about things that resonate with us here in Andrews and abroad, and he spoke a lot about community, and the same thing we spoke about with Reverend Williams is really taking down these walls and coming together for the greater good of mankind, and then taking care of our youth, and again paving the path for them that's going to be an opportunity for success. None of this is possible if we're separated. An open hand slap, you'll get somebody's attention, but if you come together and make a fist, which is a unity, you're going to have a stronger impact on any situation. Not advocating violence.
No, but we're gonna knock these problems out.
Knock these problems out.
Yeah.
And we have to stop. I mean, like today, I can't count the calls I got, or I was told that the mayor should have done this, the mayor this, but nobody left the comfort of their home or from their keyboard to come out here and look for these people. That is not unity. That is not it. That's not helpful. And I will tell you, in a crisis situation, and I've managed crisis across this country and outside of this country, one of the number one killers of success in any operation is the spread of bad information and infighting. If you're not a cohesive bunch, regardless of whatever problem you're trying to solve, if you're not cohesive and on the same message and not throwing stones, unnecessarily, it will shut things down and have people going all over the place, spreading stuff, and keeping this dissension and this divide in the community. And a lot of that, was a day, but not, no one gave us one name or a location where these people
they were seeing ghosts. And a lot of it sometimes is that they get hop into this digital silo right here.
That's not the answer.
And start scrolling through and seeing these different things, and then start saying, and not actually having a grip on what's going on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Because, did you talk to some of these people that you thought were going to be out in the cold at night prior to this? Or these ghosts in your mind, and I
will tell you, I wonder how many of these people that have relatives right here in this town, how many of these people that are homeless, quote unquote, that have relatives. They may be battling, something, whether it's an addiction, health issue, they're still your relative. They're still a resident. And we are obligated to do something about it. And we're not there yet. So again, shout out to all these folks that have gotten involved to this point. And if we missed anyone that is doing something, please let us know, because we want to recognize you. But more importantly, we want to send people to you for the resources you have, because not everybody going to have what these folks may or may not need. So let us know you're out there so we can pull this thing together and create this one little map that if you have this over here, we can direct them to it over here, whatever the case. They may not want a lot of, and I will tell you, especially with veterans, a lot of veterans, it's hard for them to accept help. But, and it's hard for them to come in. And I mean, that's just our mentality in a lot of cases. And you don't know what they're dealing with. But if we know where they are, we can take them a blanket. We can take them something, one of these heat pads, something to make a difference, let them know. Because if you make them feel welcome, a lot of them we've shunned for many, many years. And so we're not trusted, we being the broader community. So we have to change our approach and our attitude about how we help people. And I think that'll make a difference. So that's where we are. But back to, so that program yesterday, man, we had young kids out there. Someone's on the program, the Girl Scout Troop 2913. Yesterday was their first anniversary of, in existence. And they've done incredible stuff. I think they sold 11,000 boxes of cookie. 11,000. Their goal this year is 20.
I know I ate 1,000 of them.
Oh, I know. Man, I had so many cookies, it wasn't even funny, But when these babies come and ask you to buy, it's hard to tell them no. And they don't want to hear anything about you bought them from another one of their peers. They want you to buy their cookie. And so let's do that. Let's support them. Their goal is 20,000 boxes this year. And again, a lot of things they've accomplished in this in 12 months is unheard of in some of the other new troops. And so they're now, again, and a shout out to Mrs. Vermel Frazier, Miss Luann Miller, and I know they have other scout leaders now, but they're doing a fantastic job with these young ladies. And they've gone, last time I met with them, they were at 32, 33. I think they're at now 42 young ladies. And so Mr. Mack came to me. Mr. Mack, everybody know Mr. Mack Menace. He's 92 years old. He let me know that he met Dr. King. He said Dr. King is only 90, would have been 96. He's 92. But his thing was to me, where are the young men in the Boy Scout? Where and again to Mr. Brian Gary, Reverend Brian Gary, who is doing a fantastic job at the YMCA with young men. We need to form this Boy Scout. And so we're looking for willing adults to come out and help put this thing together. It's a big deal, man, because we're losing. I mean, everything, you got the Girl Scout, you got, and some other things that dealing with the young ladies. We have nothing to try to steer our young men in the right direction. So Councilman
Nee Smith, I need you back on, you know what I mean? Because they got a great organization out there in Williamsburg County. But we need you back front and center because the fight continues. Okay, I want to end on a positive note here. And I think everything that we've said tonight has been positive.
Not intended to ruffle any feathers, just to.
Well, I'm at the point, Mayor. If the ruffles get feathered, I mean the feathers ruffle, whatever, but they needed to be ruffled. You know what I mean?
I apologize, folks, but shout out to who? Mrs. Kenyatta, sweetheart, to be part of the group. Yes, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, she saw snow for the first time, man. It was excited out there, and I had to calm her down because she kept wanting to put her hands in, and I didn't want you coming in here crying. Oh, it's burning.
No, excuse me. Yeah. Oh, yeah. She's trying it all. Was it soccer?
Yeah. Now she's out basketball, learning triple threat and getting serious about that thing now.
So in other words, Michi Hanna.
Hey!
Point is in question.
Look at that! What the segue? Man, shout out to Cuz. This right here is the best high school female basketball player I've ever seen. And that's straight up and down, and that stands to this day. And I've seen some good ones, but seeing this, and I know my Uncle James Hanna is smiling back for two reasons right now. One, his girl that made it to the got recognized as she should be, Athletic Hall of Fame inductee.
In college.
In college, and two, his Redskins are knocking on the
yeah.
door of the
She's having the year of her life, huh?
Ooh.
I saw it the other night at the grand opening of the Universal Sports Bar. Miss Monique Thompson opened her place officially. The official ribbon cutting the other night, and a beautiful place. But Michi was there, and I told her I heard it before. It just didn't register that she was that person. And they were saying 54 points in a game. She actually scored 63.
I was off
dropping it like it's hot, man. So big shout out, and also a shout out to the first ballot Hall of Fame folks for Andrews High School, which will be recognized this Friday night between the girls and boys basketball game at the high school. I'm proud to say my brother's one of them. EJ was a beast, whether it's football, basketball, and track. This guy was the MVP of all three of those things in one single season, and among some other individual accolades. And of course, you have Mr. I think John Stamper. Didn't know him; he's younger than I am, but I know he made it to National Football League. That's no small feat. And Coach Hazen. Everybody know Coach Hazen. I didn't get to play for him, but he won 2 championships, as I understand it. And those guys will be recognized this Friday. Now, and again, we've had a lot of conversation about that, and I think there's still some discussion to be had on various aspects of it, and how we, and so we can be better prepared in the next round. That's my dude right there. Now, who's that? That's got to be.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Success, huh?
My finger. Sometimes I just my bad.
Hey,
I'm
that's that guy who was out getting food tonight for the feed the homeless. Old Marcus Pope. Now this guy, and again, not being biased, but you see it right there. This guy was actually number 5 in the country in 110 hurdles when he was in high school, and actually this ring is one of his, and I won't tell the story behind it, but it's mine now. But he had several of these as he went, left from high school against state championships. The team won, and again, a great coach, Coach Peterman, and a good friend too. As I traveled to watch Marcus run during those times, just develop a relationship with those guys. But those guys were standouts. And then he went on to Mount Sac College in California, and again, continued to do great things. And from there, he finished his collegiate career at the Western Kentucky University. And so, and again, was certainly looked at and had the capability, I believe, to make that 2008 Olympic if he would have worked harder. I give him a hard time all the time there, but young man got a big heart. He is my nephew. Love him to death, but that has nothing to do with his accolades, because I didn't have it. I didn't have that kind of stuff right there, but I am so proud of these guys, man. And again, congratulations to everybody. And we look forward to seeing folks out. I know we will be celebrating in the White McClary family.
No diggity doubt. Again, guys, for all the information, cut through all the fluff. If you're interested in what's going on with the Town of Andrews, go download the app, Town of Andrews new app. And also there should be a link. There will be a link there to the website where you can go find all of your information without all of the, everything else. You can cut through Facebook, cut through all social media, and just go straight to the source and get your information.
Right here.
Okay. Listen, I'll check in with you in the morning. Again, I want to salute Donnie's Catering. Let's get that in there one more time.
Big Donnie,
all plates $15. Y'all see it right there. When Y'all Seafood, 7113 South Island Road, Friday, January 24th, and Saturday, January 25th, 11 to 5 p.m. red rice, sausage, whiting fish, blue crab, macaroni and cheese, candy yams.
Oh man, that sounds good.
Accepting pre-orders at 843-436-0698 or 843-344-8010. Again, those numbers are 843-436-0698 and 843-344-8010. That's Donnie's Catering. Please call either one of those numbers if you have an event where you're trying to feed a large body of people, some really good food. Call Donnie. Man, sounds like he paying me to say that stuff right there.
Hey, I'm still getting critiqued on my lighting,
Yeah, the lighting's off tonight. Now you
Is
just, but I understand. Listen.
How's that?
I don't know. I think it may be that what did you shoot on the other night? What device did you what device did you stream from? The iPad or the phone?
Yeah, I think it was the iPad. I was at home that night.
Yeah, the iPad is that camera is a beast because yeah, that gives you a like a tint. But you know what? I don't even have to say nothing. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I'm getting critiqued.
You'll get.
I done went out and bought this little $2 camera right here, and apparently that's not working. So maybe it's the, like you say, it could be the quality.
Okay, yeah, and that light that yeah, no, we'll do a lesson on.
I need a block of
science.
instruction.
Yeah, on light science, because I see you got this light, which is a white light.
Yeah,
but then you gotta have something to offset it on this side too.
And I don't have listen. This is what I have, bro. Okay, all right. I'm trying. I'm trying, and I wouldn't even show you the other one, man. It's all like, I think probably a total of about $10, Walmart special, but I'm gonna work on it.
No doubt.
This harassment coming all the way down from, Washington D.C., harassing me, but I'm gonna get it together. But it's all good, man. I tell you what, good information, and I hope it was received as it was intended, just to get us all pulling together.
If it got you upset, do something. Open the shelter tomorrow and be like, yo, they talking about me on there. We got a shelter. Show me, okay? Outdo these folks over here at Mount Olive Baptist Church. Nah, don't outdo them. Get with them, all right? Learn from them, okay? Most importantly, make sure you donate to them, okay? Remember, she said they need socks, they need toboggans, they need hats. Basically, and I love that concept of when they leave, they give them, they leave with something, and so just awesome job right there.
I can imagine. Yeah, when I was in college, as part of my intern, I had this halfway house, and I was watching. As I'm a criminal justice major, so I was listening to her interaction with the young man there. And I remember vividly, some of the conversation, and these guys, you just don't know, but you're exposed to them because you're trying to help. And I just want them, again, let's keep that on the forefront too. I know it's, again, the liability from safety and from health standards, but we can figure out how to make it happen. So.
Absolutely. And with that being said, guys, set this up right here. So, after this cold snap, it's gonna start warming up. And
yep. And there's again, if you get online, there's some tips about everybody talks about dripping, having a slow drip on your faucet. Make sure, because it's really cold.
Yes.
And encourage you, if you don't have to be on the road, please stay off. I know the town hall will make a decision in the morning, but right now it's a delay. Opening probably at 10 o'clock, but I will tell you, based on what's forecasted, we may not be open tomorrow.
Man, I can start streaming tomorrow about 8 o'clock, man. And whenever you get moving or whatever, hit me, just let me know, and we go from there. But again, y'all make sure y'all check on them heaters. Make sure that heater, if you got that heater in that room, make sure nothing else is plugged up in there. Take everything off of that circuit to give that heater enough, thing, and monitor these things. And every once in a while, take your hand and just touch the cord and see that it's not getting too hot. Okay. Now, theoretically, the breaker and the wall and the breaker box is supposed to trip before you get to that point, but obviously that doesn't always happen. So y'all keep that in mind, and y'all have a safe night.
Are you tired of dealing with pesky cockroaches in your home or office? Look no further than our $200 German cockroach treatment. Our program is eco-friendly, safe for both children and adults, and will quickly eliminate any cockroaches present. Plus, our fast, effective service ensures that your property will be clean and free of any mess left behind. Don't wait until it's too late. Contact us today and enjoy a cockroach-free home or office.